Hello everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. It is a rainy, dark morning, but I'm going to bring a little bit of joy into my day by starting off with showing you some beautiful digitals, announcing our next challenge, and showing a couple of challenge journals. We're going to have a fun, short little time together here, and I hope you enjoy it. If you're new to my channel, then you might not know that I have an online consignment shop where I sell other people's journals for a commission. And I've been doing it for a few years now. I've sold probably a couple thousand, I know well over 1,000, couple thousand journals by now from all over the world. I love doing it and I have amazing artists. So if you're interested in becoming a part of that, I hope that you will email me. My email address is below. And you can visit my Facebook group. That's below in the description box as well. Under the featured section, there's a lot of information about that. So that could get you started to see if it's something that you would like to do. So we do groups of journals that come in and get shown. We've just finished group 6. We're about to start showing group 7 journals, and I'm going to announce group 8. So they pretty much go in like a 2 to 3 month time period where I collect journals and then I show them before I move on to the next collection. So for example, today is February 25th. 2022. The deadline to get in any journals that you want shown for the months of March and April, it needs to be postmarked by the 28th. So you have like 3 more days. If you have any journals, they can be challenge journals or just journals that you've created, as long as they follow the guidelines that I have written out. My Facebook group, you can go read that. And then the next journals, so the group 7 that I've been collecting, will be shown in March and April. And then the one that I'm about to announce, I'm going to be collecting all of them coming in, and then they will be shown in May and June. So hopefully that makes sense. But if it gets confusing, just the only thing you need to remember is that if you have 3 days to get in journals that you want shown soon. And if you're willing to wait just a little bit, you have another 2 months. But send them in anytime. I'll just put them in the correct group and I'll show them at the right time. So you don't have to bother your brain too much about that. Okay, so the challenge, if you want to do a challenge, is forest and garden. So I'm sorry, I have to do nature. I love it way too much. And so forest and garden. And the reason why I'm putting forest and garden together is you can go, I like to have options for my artists. So you can go more, forest and mushroom and like untamed, or you can go more like garden, or you can meld it together and kind of have like wild garden. So there's a lot of things that you can do. These are the digitals that you'll be working with. There's 5 sets. They're all available in my shop. I'll tell you what they are so you can go to my shop, type it in. But if you want direct links, go to my Facebook group. Under the featured section, there's direct links. I also offer prints and free shipping in the United States. Let's get started. This is Sylvan Forest. It's one of my new ones. It's Sylvan, Sylvan Forest. And I love this one. It is inspired by beautiful forest backgrounds. And then I have done digital techniques around it, as well as definitions. I love words and definitions. So I have like wheeled a wooded forest, a woodland or region, broadleafed, having broad instead of needle-like leaves. There's gorgeous illustrations. A lot of these are from Creative Fabrica. These watercolor ones, there's script and doilies and all sorts of things. Environment, a subset of the natural world and ecosystem. Habitat, the place where an animal or plant naturally lives. Woodlands, land covered with trees. Forest, trees and plants covering a large area. And there we go. Sylvan, pertaining to something wooded. Thicket, thick underbrush and trees. And then there are lined forest pages that you can print on the backs, or you can use as extra like writing space. My dear friend Lonnie, who helps me a lot with the digital end of things, she and I had been working on a bunch of lined projects and things. So I was inspired to do these forest lined pages. And then there's a little bit of ephemera. There's some circle ones here: wander, greenwood, brushwood, and wild. There's some library cards. You have an owl, a raccoon, and a fox. There's some beautiful postcards. And that's that. So not a ton of ephemera. And one thing you'll notice about this challenge, there's not a whole bunch of ephemera. So you can add normally I say at least 50%, more than 50% of the journal should be made up of these digitals. So think more pages and a few pieces of ephemera, and then you can throw in some other ephemera that you have that would go well. This is Ink Saver Insect Garden. So Ink Saver, this is on my Ink Saver line, and you can print it. I just have it here on white paper. This is 24-pound paper. It's what I normally print on, but you can print it on coffee dyed paper, parchment paper, colored paper, whatever you want to print it on, or you can print it out and you can use colored pencil, gel pens, watercolor pens. You can paint over it, dip it, dry it, spray it, or you can leave it like this as well. So there's quotes. Nature will bear the closest inspection. She invites us to lay our eye level with her smallest leaf and take an insect view of its plain throw. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Lao Tzu. All my life through the new sights of nature made me rejoice like a child. Marie Curie. Many eyes go through the meadow, but few see the flowers in it. Emerson. Never, no, never did nature say one thing and wisdom another. Edmund Burke. To sit in the shade on a fine day and look upon verdure is the most perfect refreshment. Jane Austen. There is a background page that goes with that. Then I love this set. This is Artistic Garden Words and Phrases. I got these from an old book in the public domain. I think it was called Artistic Gardens something or other. I don't remember, but I skimmed through the book and pulled out words and phrases that I thought were beautiful. That you would just cut them out and use them any way you want, kind of like you would like the Tim Holtz words. But you can see here, pyramids of flowers, possess the vision of genius, the landscape gardener, recreation and delight, the union of beauty with the practical, uncommonly artistic eye. He frankly admitted, an age of splendor, the refreshing truth, embroidery of the meadows, voluntary exiles in a wild land, comforting themselves with patches of herbs and flowers. Run wild, spicy odor scents a whole garden, who most loved them, intricate patterns, generously comfortable living, treasures of his quest, ideal, wonderment, old-fashioned. You get the idea. I love these, and there's a lot of them, so way more than you'll use in one journal probably, but they are beautiful. Again, it's an ink saver, so you could print this on parchment paper and it would be beautiful. I usually just print it out on the white. I cut it out and I ink the edges, but there's lots of options. Then there is the vintage wallpaper envelopes and pages. Lonnie and I created this together. So your digital purchase of this will also, part of it will go to her. So you're supporting two artists in one. This is a pretty big kit. We've took vintage wallpaper that's in the public domain, and Lonnie created the pages and I created the envelopes, and they match together. I believe there's 10 pages and 10 envelopes. They are very soft and sweet. I hope the camera's picking up. You can see roses and stuff here in the background with light lines for journaling. And then, of course, the amazing border that Lonnie's put around them. All the pages. And you can see light prints. I don't know that the camera picks it up, but it's wonderful for journaling over. Super gorgeous. And then the envelopes match, all of them, because we used the same wallpaper swatches. These are all vintage and or antique wallpaper. These are gorgeous envelopes that you can use. And then the final digital, once we get through these envelopes, because there's a lot of envelopes, is Woodland Greenery library cards. There's 8 cards, and they're beautiful, and I think they'll go really well with this theme. So that is that. A quick reminder that it is 10% extra commission if you complete these. Normally it is 2 journals per artist for a challenge, and then you can send, for example, you can send a huge box of journals. There could be 20 journals in the box, but only 2 of them could be challenge journals. That's traditional. This time, group 8, I'm allowing 4 journals per artist. We may have to go back down, but I think that we need to up it a little bit from 2. So we're going to try 4. It will be the limit. You can create 1. That's fine. You could do 1 challenge journal and 8 other journals. You know, you could do a couple sunflower journals and an eclectic journal and a Christmas journal and a summer beach journal. Okay, you could do that. Or you could do 4 challenge journals and, you know, that's it. Or you could just send in 2 challenge journals. You could mix and match. There's no limit to the number of journals that you send in as long as they meet the guidelines. There's just a limit this time of 4 for the challenge. So that being said, super excited about that. All of the details will be over on the Facebook group under the featured section. Read those posts. You'll get more information than you'd ever wanted to know about that. If you still have questions, email me. I'll be happy to answer them. We are going to show 2 journals today that are challenge journals from group 7. So this is the Lovely Luella challenge. Obviously, it's not the digitals I just showed you because I was just announcing them. This would be the previous one. We have 2 that we're going to look at, one from Michelle and one from Tammy. And I know their work. It's amazing, and they're going to do a wonderful job of showcasing what a true challenge journal should look like. So this is Michelle's. Isn't the cover gorgeous? Now, these journals are for sale in my shop. Link is below, nevermorecreation17.com. Free shipping to the United States, exact shipping worldwide. Look at the gorgeous pansies on the front. There's a key charm. It's kind of fabric, Franken cover. It is absolutely beautiful. This is actually elastic. Let's see what she says here. So this is called Plays Well with Pansies. And then here's the digitals that she used. So there was a lot of music I guess there's music, but there's a lot of pansies in the challenge we just did. So Luella, Luella, Pansy Ephemera, Music Blooms, and Neutral Vintage Cut-Aparts. All of these you can get on my shop digitally or printed. She's also added in Pink Monarch prints and William Morris wallpaper as well. Here's William Morris wallpaper. That's one of my paper packs. But she's made tags. The Pansy Ephemera, got that in there. Gorgeous. Look at the gold paint that she splattered. This is from Luella. Luella was inspired by, and I think this flower was from the book, an old book. It has an inscription to Luella from, I think it's from a cousin. I think it's on one of the pages. But there were the little poems and then these flowers. So I've used the flowers, the inscription, and then these are embroidered. There's butterflies that I've used that I've cleaned up from a vintage book as well. Oh, look at that. There's pansies. This is Music Blooms, which is music and pansy themed. It's a kit. Here's one of the pages. William Morris wallpaper, Music Blooms, lovely, the paper pack is called Luella. The challenge is called Lovely Luella, so I'm getting confused, but you can see the embroidered butterfly I put on there. It's a vintage embroidery that I cleaned up. Little Flower Folks or Stories from Flowerland. That's from Pansy Ephemera. These are gorgeous, Michelle. Luella. Got a bunch of Pansy Ephemera in here. Music Blooms. Music Blooms. You get the idea. Look at the little fish. Luella. Luella. Pansy Ephemera. Pansy Ephemera. Pansy Ephemera. You get the idea. What a gorgeous journal. Oh my word. Beautiful. So to see a different take on it, we're going to look at Tammy's challenge journal. Also for sale. This one's just called Luella. This journal was created to look and feel like a well-worn and loved journal of Luella's. Front and back pockets, stenciling, stamping, vintage lines, laces, ribbons, buttons from Sherry Sawyer's fabric bundles from my shop. So she's purchased some items from Sherry from my shop, and now she's putting them into a journal and selling it again. We love when you do that. Faux vintage papers, letters created by her, tape, sari silk, wax thread binding. The digitals she used: Luella, Pansy Ephemera, Ink Saver Morris, Neutral Vintage Cut Apart. And then, so those are all mine. And then Ruby and Pearl XO and Old Design Shop are 2 other shops that she's added a few things from. Look at how pretty. So here is what I was talking about with the inscription. To Luella from Cousin Louis. Isn't that beautiful? That was the inscription of the book. I had to preserve it in a digital. It is beautiful. It is sweet. And I love how you put it on the front of this journal. It definitely gives it, here's a little pocket so you can put something in there. It gives it its rightful place. It is so sweet. Oh, wow. Look at how gorgeous this is. So you can see a different style. This one has a little bit lighter colors. And this is Tammy's style versus Michelle's. They're both incredible, but they're both different. They're using a lot of the same digital. Oh, here's Neutral Vintage Cut Aparts. You can use it as an entire page, or you can cut the little pieces apart. I made it that way. So it was very versatile. Look at all of the faux aging she did on the pages, making them look worn and old. That is so pretty. This is Morris Ink Saver, and you can see here it's inspired by William Morris, and then the background can be printed on anything. So this was a project I had done for Design Cuts. They provided me with the digitals, and then I created the Ink Saver pages. This is from Luella. I love your take on this, Tammy. So this is from Luella as well. So this is an image from Pixel Scrapper, but I thought that could be Luella and added it in. Tracing paper. See, that's from the Neutral Vintage Cut Aparts. It's cute that they both used that. So many vintage bits and pieces. Just gives it such a lovely, lovely, the bow. So you can see the idea here. There's even a pocket here in the back of the challenge, and some of the digitals and some of the journal types that we will be looking at over the next several weeks. So I hope that you will subscribe if you have not. I would love to have you a part of my YouTube family. I also have a Creative Fabrica Fans page. I'd love to have you join. There's so many links below. Make sure you're part of my Facebook group, my Instagram, my Creative Fabrica Fans page, the whole thing. They're all down there. Join. Love to have you. I appreciate you so much. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you have not. I'll see you next week with lots more inspiration. You're not going to want to miss next week. We have some beautiful journals, beautiful inspiration coming your way.